friend of ours, Rick Davis, joining us from Fidelity Bank. We've known Rick for quite a while now.
We have history.
You have a company that really does some amazing things when it comes to lending money to people.
Well, as a community bank, we get more opportunities to actually meet the clients than you do on a telephone service from some automated place.
And that's really important to you.
I think it's the whole thing, really. Because of the fact that a house is the family's project that's going to be there for many years, or maybe a lifetime, and you want to make sure you pick the right loan to go with the house so that you don't have stress from buying the house.
All right, how about some examples of what you're talking about?
Well, I had 3 different clients come in thinking they wanted a different loan this week, and I made a point of it because I knew I was going to talk about it on Friday today with you guys to make the meeting to myself instead of my staff. One of them was 73 years old, thought they needed to refinance their house because they had a balloon that they had from another bank that was going to expire. And I looked at the program and looked at their equity, and I talked to them about the new HECM loan. And he was the happiest 73-year-old man I met that day.
Now, what was he coming in for? What was his original game plan?
His loan was going to expire on his house. He had a 10-year balloon from another lender, and he had to refinance or pay it off.
Sure.
So that's why he called to come in. And he'd heard, he had seen the show, or his son had seen the show and said, call and ask for us. So he actually mentioned the show.
So you mentioned a HECM loan. What exactly is that?
It's a home equity line of credit for people over 62 years old that can buy their home or refinance their home and never make another payment other than taxes, insurance on it. Huh. And it still goes into their estate, 20 years later or whatever, so they get more cash available to enjoy their golden years.
And this is not a reverse mortgage?
It's a type of reverse mortgage, but it's a new modified one.
Okay.
The old reverse mortgages were really owned by the government as soon as you entered into it. You keep ownership of this property.
Ah, okay. Gotcha.
The old mortgage went to them, so it didn't go to the state, so the family could get the benefit of all it's doing is deferring the interest till the last person in the house is gone.
Okay.
So they have more cash available so they can live on their limited income and have the life they worked all their life to have.
Now, what about this guy that got your HECM loan? You said he was pretty happy because he has a chance to do something.
He said he was leaving to go call to arrange his trip to New Zealand with the savings he was going to get on his house. He'd always wanted to go to New Zealand.
That's awesome.
It was kind of a neat deal. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it was like, you would never be able to do it on a telephone call. You would never know what the purpose was. That's why, if I can do anything today, is if you're ever thinking about it, especially the veterans, like we have a new program for the veterans that are getting caught up with credit card debt and other problems. Well, because veterans are such good pays, the government's created a veterans refi program that you can take care of your other debt and put it back in your house and have one low payment. And VA loans are under 4%. Actually, I think they're like 3.5% or lower today, which is unbelievable. They could save, well, one guy on Wednesday looked like he was going to save $750 a month and bring no money to the table.
A month?
Yes.
Wow. So there are options out there, but it makes a difference if you're actually able to talk to someone and figure out what's best for their situation.
I don't know how to do it without meeting with the person. I don't know how a rocket could happen in an environment. You don't build a house in a day. How can you make the loan in 20 minutes? Mm-hmm. You need to have someone you trust to actually counsel you on what's best for you. Well, we have grown to be a couple $100 million lender in an environment that we're the smallest bank in the community. We did that by personal conversations with clients who refer family members going on down. And this was just a good week for it because that was my first trip to New Zealand for somebody.
That's great. So that's one story. You have another story for us of somebody that came in?
We had a veteran that came in. I started working on him a week and a half ago, and he was worried he was getting close and close because he's got children going to college, and he was having some issues with it. So I thought maybe we'd do a kiddie loan. Then I found out he was a veteran, and we saved enough money on his first house that he could handle the university without having to get near as many student loans. It was a big deal.
Now, you mentioned a kiddie loan. Tell us what exactly that is.
Well, the kiddie loan is now, this time of year, people are going off to college next year, and it's gotten to the point that it's almost as much money for room and board as it is the tuition. In a few colleges in Chicago, it's more. Mm-hmm. It's actually more to live there than it is to learn there.
To go to school.
Wow.
So the program is universities will allow you to live off campus if you own property inside the range.
Okay. Gotcha.
So instead of having to go freshman year and pay that big money for the dorm and the food, which is a big profit center, I think, honestly. I'm not done their books, but I think it's a big profit center. They can buy with their parents, not having any credit at all, and being students. The parents only have to put 3.5% down. It's another program to try to help student loans and help kids get going in the right direction. the name is in both their names, so they start to build their own credit, be able to get equity. And if they have 2 siblings, they absolutely should look at a house. So we're creating a whole network, at least in the Iowa colleges, where we're going to have preferred realtors that help people shop for students' housing off campus to beat the system on the
And you
tax.
said it was 3.5% instead of 10 or 20.
Well, it's 3.5% investment is all that's required,
Right.
and the payment's tax deductible, and it's not on a student loan. It's not totally on a student loan for the parent guaranteeing it.
Right.
And then the other product is usually in the college towns, if you take care of the property, it goes up in value, and roommates are pretty easy to find.
That kid better stay in college, though. He
He
dumps
did,
out on you
either
after
that or he
a
needs to
year.
get a job and make his house payment.
One of the two. But your bank just has some amazing opportunities to help people. But again, you have to sit down face to face with them.
Not necessarily me.
No, but your company.
But
Yeah.
we have 8 loan officers that never do a loan on the phone with the conversation. We really don't want to even talk about it on the phone. We want to talk about when we can get together. Because there's so many different variables in the loan. 7 out of 10 loans aren't the right loan for the client, but they don't know it because it pays the most to the bank on a 30-year fixed. It's not necessarily the best loan for the client, but it seems to be if it's the best loan for the seller. We live on referrals, and our referrals is saving people money.
All right.
Great
So
idea.
if you want to save some money, if you want to find out what's perfect for you, we recommend that you head over to West Des Moines and check out Fidelity Bank. You can also go online and see if you have some questions that can be answered there at FidelityBank.house, and also the phone number 515-343-2300.
Good job, Rick, as always.
Thank you.
Thank you, buddy.